How's it going, Song of Ice and Fire fans? It's Grant from Yeecats Miniatures, bringing you the first episode of our brand new Season 6 Changes log. And I'm starting with House Bolton, and I'm very lucky to be joined by my good friend Dan G. How's it going, Dan?
Hello, Grant. Yeah, very, very good. Excited about all the changes.
Oh, mate, I can't. So, obviously, we're recording this on the 27th, so the changes leaked or got released yesterday. I can't really work out what happened, if I'm honest, but the app updated and we got loads of stuff, which is great, right?
It's brilliant. All my group chats are going crazy. Everyone's discovering new stuff. It's brilliant.
Mate, waking up to 46 million messages on your WhatsApp is what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive.
Cool. Okay, man. So obviously, we know you as a staunch House Bolton player. You did really well in UK Nationals last year with them. You were sort of had your fingers crossed due to going back to some of our previous discussions. You had your fingers crossed they were going to get a bit of a tweak. So without going into any detail, as an overview, do you think these are positive changes for House Bolton?
I'm really happy with them. I think they're all positive. They're all thematic still. They're not crazy. I was really hoping they didn't do a full rework like Greyjoy's got last season before. It's sort of tweaks, positive tweaks. I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. We'll get more into detail as we go. So, what we'll do then, we'll go over just some of the more. I'm going to ask all my guests just quickly about how they feel about, um, obviously the bigger changes that affect all the factions. So the main rules, if you will. So first and foremost, then let's get into um, the changes. So obviously morale test now and panic that has changed. So now a double one is auto fail, double six is auto pass. Is that right? I mean, I keep getting the White Warhammer Fantasy leadership stuff mixed up with the Song of Fire stuff. But yeah, so there's no more automatic passing and no more. Sorry, there is no more automatic passing just because you can, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's come up a couple of times in games where I've had like -6 onto people and
Mm,
they've had a chance to pass it. I think it's a sensible change to fit in with how attack and defense dice work.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's good.
So yeah, well, obviously, as a Bolton player, people not being able to automatically pass, well, not being able to automatically pass morale test all the time is great for you, right?
Yeah, I think that niche occasion I get, flayed men into the back of someone -6.
Yeah,
The fact people just auto fail. That's good to know.
yeah, awesome. Cool. Obviously, there's the army construction rules as well. So we now get 4 points extra attachments, and you obviously, as you know, Bolton get a 3 point of attachment with a bastard boy anyway, and another 3 point of attachment with Ben Bones. Now, Dan, you get another 3 points on top of that. I mean, have you even got 6 units in your army?
I honestly, I I'm not sure we could fit them all in. I think that's going to be a difficult thing, but it's a really interesting change. I I know there's a lot of noise around Bolton's about we've already got 2 free. So is another 4 free? Is that super impactful? Does everyone else benefit more than us? I think it's nice,
Mm,
but it'd be really nice if we got a Heroes 2 or an
yeah,
Attachments 2 soon. I think that'll make it really good. We obviously can get Ramsey
yeah,
for free now, 2 point Ramsey, which is great because neutrals as the neutral you have to pay for him still.
yeah.
Um, like you're saying with Ben Bones, I've made a couple of quick lists now, and I've managed to sneak in 4 or 5 attachments into these lists, and it looks really good. I think the army building, the NCU combat mix is going to be really cool to see that develop. But with Bolton's, yeah, the fact we've got 2 free already and these extra 4 3 points, it's going to be interesting to see if we can fit them in. And it's sort of the bastard boy doesn't have to be the first thing in the roster anymore, which is nice. Which is nice to have.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of talk around there being this is sort of pushing towards having a two NCU game. Obviously, we just need some more choice for Boltons for that to really come into play, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not too unhappy with that. I really like running free NCUs, so I will try that first, I think.
Yeah,
But Bolton MCUs aren't renowned for being amazing. So if we can get an extra combat unit, that's pretty cool with more attachments. One thing with the attachment limit, I know a lot of armies got some cool thematic. You can have one of these. It ignores the slot. If you bring so and so unit, Bolton's didn't get any of this, probably because we've already got the Bastard Boy and Ben Bones. But I would have really liked to see, like a Dreadfort Captain ignore the attach limit in a Blackguard unit, something like that, because we've already got 6 points of free attachments. Some allowing some extra bits would have been nice.
Oh, that's unbelievable. You're just insatiable, Dan. For 6 points of free attachments isn't enough. He needs five.
6 points isn't enough, man. Seaman.
Awesome, awesome. And obviously the other change, obviously the other caveat to that 4 free points of attachments is it doesn't apply to neutrals. Obviously, it means you can't spend those extra points on non-Bolton stuff, which is a shame. But then again, you're already getting 2 free attachments there. Maybe it gives you a bit of options to, yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah, I think I mean, if anyone followed UK Nationals or my lists generally, I run 2 Glory Seekers in a list. I love them, so
yeah,
that's a shame. But like I mentioned before, having the only army in the game that can have 2-point Ramsey for free. And I know as soon as these rules came out, everyone was, starry-eyed about a free 2-point Ramsey. He's going to be everywhere.
yeah.
So the fact we're the only ones who can do that, apart from neutrals, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Okay, cool. And obviously, the last change is that neutral commanders have been stripped out of every other faction outside of neutrals, which is, if I'm honest, something I've always felt should have been the case because it allows neutrals something, something for them that only they can have. And as much as Roos has led different alliances in the books, Roos leading a House Martell army was always a bit weird, really. Do you think? How do you think the lack of neutral commanders is going to affect your gameplay?
Yeah, I'm surprised they took them away from everyone from the original sort of the highlight they put out. I thought they were going to maybe make it a bit more thematic, so Vargo could go with Boltons
Yeah.
because they do in the book. Roose could go with the Starks or Lannisters.
Mm,
But having a blanket, none of them is good for balance. Um, so personally, I'm a bit of a purist.
yeah.
I've tried Vargo a few times. I don't like him personally.
Yeah.
I think he's strong and he's good, and I think it will hurt Bolton's a bit. I know a lot of Bolton players love Vargo and run him
Yeah.
um, exclusively, so I think they'll be quite upset. But I really try to just run the Bolton commanders. So for me personally, I don't think it's a big thing for Bolton's overall. I think Vargo is probably one of our stronger commanders, so it will take a bit of a hit there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. Well, let's get into the actual change then. It's the meat and bones of it. So first up, we have a brand new army rule. Quite a few people have mistaken this for a tactic card. I myself couldn't find it until you told me about it, and obviously they all of them started posting it. But they've got a brand new card, Dreadful Prisoners, and this is really great, really thematic. I'll read the card out for everyone that's listening to this as a podcast. So this card starts the game with 3 order tokens. Every time an enemy rank is destroyed, place 1 order token on this card. This card can have up to 3 order tokens. At the start of any turn, you may spend 3 order tokens to target one enemy combat unit. If you do, they become panicked. So obviously this is an engine to basically just keep throwing out panic tokens, which I think is something, having played a little bit of Boltons myself, is something I felt was lacking, which is why I always felt I needed to take Roos Bolton as an NCU. So I think that this is quite nice to free him up. But obviously, I'm not the Bolton expert. You are. What do you think of the new card?
I think you've nailed it on the head there. Roost NCU is amazing because you can have panic tokens where you want them, where you need them. This isn't changing anything. This is just adding it to nothing. Our army rule before was you can have neutrals. Great. So the fact we now get at the start of the game a free panic token, like if you draw Cruel Methods turn 1, bam, immediately you've got a weak and vulnerable
Yeah,
on a unit. Um, the fact you can get it throughout a game just by killing its ranks, isn't it? So
yeah,
you're gonna get quite maybe 1 or 2 more tokens off of this in a game, and
mm,
it's a start of turn, any turn, wherever you want it. If you've got a horrific visage and something's about to sword you, bam, start of turn, panic. I think this is really nice. Just panics where you want them. They really make the army work. Like really, I think panic tokens, through
Yeah,
sense of use, what makes the army work. So this is amazing.
yeah,
I'm a huge fan. It's not too much. It's just a nice little thing. Really really happy with this.
mate. Everybody loves a panic cannon, right?
Yeah, yeah, too right. Um, it's just gonna be great to collect tokens at the side of the table and kabam every now and again. Panic token. I'm
Yeah.
big fan.
Yeah, nice, nice. I mean, I think that'll catch people off guard a few times you start to bed Bolton's back in after this season 6 release. It'd be nice to catch people off guard with that.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like smacking Bruce Blackguard. Oh, I don't have a panic token. I might take a couple of damage to. Oh no, this is -4, and I've got a panic token. The sword is gonna, it's gonna hit.
I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake. Cool, sweet. Okay, and next up we've got some of the units, I think. So first off, we'll start with Flayed Men. I put the old card on the screen now. People can see this. The only change, I say only, but it's not a small change. I think this is really good. So now they go up to five dice. That's the posh version of dice. 5 dice on the final rank, which gives them a bit more grind. So I really like this change. I probably would have liked to have seen Critical Blow be a permanent fixture on the card, but I mean, I'll take the extra dice. What do you think about the new addition to the Flame In?
Yeah, I mean, an extra dice is always good. I think Harsh Punishments is a great card, and I often play it on Flayed Men, but this just allows me to play it somewhere else.
Hmm.
It's circumstantially if I want it. Bastard Girls with Harsh Punishments are great, so it sort of it helps with that choice. More attacks are better. I would have liked to seen Crit Blow always as well, but can't argue with an extra attack.
Or Critical Blow all the time.
Or Critical Blow all the time.
Sweet. Obviously, you already running 2 units of Flame Bins. Does this change what you might be running, or are you just still going to be running the 2 units?
I don't think it changes my mind to bring them. It's a nice bonus. I think the attachment rules will force my hand a lot more than that rule in terms of cavalry.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting army building thing with the new rules.
Awesome, awesome. Next up, we have the Bolton Blackguards, or Blackguard, however you want to say it. I'm calling them Blackguards because I like it. It sounds posh. Um, so these guys are very, well, I think it's quite a decent change, really, because they've now gone from a slow-moving dwarves of the Song of Ice and Fire universe into sprinters. We're movement 5, Dan. Movement 5, first and objective.
It's so silly to be so excited about this. Like, it's such a good change. Um, just the amount of games where I've had to just Varus for a shift because that's basically my movement.
Yeah,
And 5 move is huge for charges. For a march, a 10 march instead of an 8 is massive. Good, great change. I was hoping they'd do that or put us on a 3+ to hit. Either
yeah.
one, brilliant. Love that. What a change.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it just makes them just more flexible as that commander bunker, right? It means we can get to objectives a bit quicker. I mean, I'm really excited about movement 5. Again, it's strange to be so excited about a point of movement, but I might even just scratch off the number 10 on my 12-inch ruler and just replace it with Bolton Blackguard March.
It's it, it's so good. Just hold the middle. You can march there faster, and like playing a lot of armies. Like you look at Greyjoys, having 6 movement on infantry is so much better than 5 movement, and
Yeah,
having 5 movement is so much better than 4 movement. It's just yeah, super good change. Happy.
nice, nice. Um, cool. Next up, we have the tactics deck changes. So we have remorseless examples on screen and sadistic games. So maybe we should talk a little bit about how we felt about them prior to the changes. So remorseless examples, obviously, is the card we throw at the corpse pile if you destroy a unit. It was in a couple of other armies. I think Queen and Marine had it, and the Weeper had it. It was. I mean, it was a good card. I quite liked it. It was really good for the panic thing because it put out a little, enemy only corpse pile. Um, and obviously, sadistic games was really situational, and it was a struggle to play it early in the game because if you played it and you haven't got anything in combat, people just take the hits and you'd lose the card essentially. How did you feel about these cards prior to the change?
So I think they were both two of the more situational cards. I think they're both really good in their own way. Remorseless examples. If you did get the corpse pile off, it
Yeah,
was insane. That's game changing. You could stop a charge. You could, with intimidating presence, just auto +2 damage and stuff.
yeah,
Um, I must have played, I don't know, 150 Bolton games, and I got the corpse pile off maybe 10. The first bit of that though, handing out a panic, was really useful. But I believe one of the changes we'll see in a minute is it Remorseless Examples is one other unit in long range
yeah,
becomes panic. I think they've changed that, so
yeah,
that's nice. But it was an okay card. I usually just spend it away for a panic token or bin it
yeah,
because it's only melee, not ranged, and I think a lot of the Bolton damage in my lists anyway is ranged. And
yeah,
then Sadistic Games is one of my favourite cards as it was. It was just so funny making your opponent pick one of the two things. Um, and people see hits and they go, "Oh God, no, 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 no! I can't do hits. I'll take the tokens," and that really makes the list work.
yeah,
The problem is you need something engaged, and you usually bin it because it's just not worth it.
yeah. Okay, cool. So that was the old card. So the new cards in. So um, Remorse Examples has been replaced by a bloody beheading. So this is now a brand new tactics card. It is changed in certainly the Weeper. I think in Queen Marine as well. If it hasn't, I imagine it will change because it looks like they've just basically binned off the Remorse Example card. So this is after a friendly unit completes a melee attack. If this attack destroys an enemy rank, each enemy in long range becomes panicked. If they were already panicked, they suffer one panic test. If this attack destroys an enemy, instead, each enemy in long range becomes panicked and they suffer one panic test. So this is basically a panic grenade.
The panic nuke. What a card. I believe Queen of Marine has still got the old one.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know about the Weeper, but I think this might be a Bolton specific card, which I love. Like I love how tasteful that is. Don't quote me on a Weeper. Not 100%, but I think this is such a big improvement, such a good card. If you, we'll start with the second bit of it, I think, because that is what's mental. Like imagine playing Free Folk Raider spam and you throw out 5 spread fears basically, like with a token.
Yeah,
That's so cool. I like I said before, in all my games, I only ever got the corpse pile off maybe 10 times.
yeah,
4 of those times it was impactful. So I that bit I'm less interested in. But the first one, just I can kill a rank. I do a panic test on that attack that I've attacked, and then I can ping one off onto another unit. Like that's just so nice.
yeah,
So and it can be every enemy in long range. So that's really good.
yeah. Long
Big.
range, well, long range is massive. That's such a
Oh,
big area.
that's huge, especially as well with how everyone's sort of thinking we might move to a 5-2. There's
Yeah,
going to be another combat unit on the board um, within long range potentially. So that I think that's a nice, really good card. Happy with that.
yeah. Especially when you got cards like Fear Keeps Man Alive in your deck.
Yes, and you can proc things off those other panic checks. Like
Yeah,
you can do that into something with spread fear and then spread fear. Like that's yeah. I can see some stupid combos coming. Obviously, it needs people to fail panic tests
yeah,
and have the card. I think the first part will be seen quite a lot. Killing a rank,
yeah.
doing extra damage or healing.
But it's a nice type of warfare, right? Because it means you're going to war, you're killing the rank, and everyone else just leaves the battlefield. No one dies; they just panic and walk away. Fair play to you.
See their mates die and run away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not into that. Got to admit, I'm leaving. Cool. And sadistic games. So they've taken away the hits. So start of enemy turn, your opponent chooses one, and you select the targets after they choose. Either two enemy units become panicked, or two enemy units become weakened. Um, it just makes it a usable card in every single situation now, right?
This that's a huge change. I thought they were going to basically just do it as like D3+1 hits or
Yeah,
2 panic tokens. Start of enemy turn, just you choose. The fact it's now 2 weakens or 2 panics just automatically.
yeah,
That's so good for tokens to get flayed men off. And people don't like weakens. I think weakens are probably the strongest of the tokens.
yeah. I think so.
So
Yeah,
this forces people to pick the panics, which makes the army gel. So it's such a good card. It's not just a throw it away; it's a use it immediately. You know, it's is really good. Happy with that.
Yeah, and just while you've been talking, I did check. Check the change log. So the Weepers one has changed, but the look at on the Queen and Marine one has stayed the same. It hasn't changed.
Ah, so the Weeper has bloody beheadings as well now.
Yeah, yeah.
Shame it's not Bolton specific, but that's a good change.
Should we send in a strongly worded letter?
I'm typing the email right now.
I'm onto it. I'm onto it. Cool. Sweet. Okay. Well, I mean, well, that is all the changes for House Bolton. So there are some really, really cool stuff there. I know that you've been typing away online, working out some armies and stuff. So looking forward to seeing what you can make with these new changes. But as always, Dan, it's amazing to have a conversation with you because it's always really positive, and positivity is what the game needs. Unless you're playing House Bolton, in which case panic is what the game needs.
No positivity here. No, thanks for having me on again. I think the changes are nice, they're thematic, they're impactful. I hope people aren't too upset that they didn't get a whole revamp, but I think it is gonna definitely make us stronger. We might not be so far at the bottom now.
Yeah. And if you had to pick one of what's the one of the biggest changes you've seen across the whole board that isn't House Bolton that the sort of piqued your interest?
I think, and one thing I was a big advocate for, if that's the right way to say it, was as soon as they announced the free attachments, I was just anticipating like Death Star units everywhere.
Mhm.
Just the game being incredibly killy. Just everything goes smash, loses a bit of tactical nuance and things like that. But the fact they've sort of reduced assault orders, like Courtney's charging off the crown, anything like that, they've really hampered. Shooting off bags, attacking off bags,
Yeah,
all of that. They've brought that back, which I think was so needed and really smart. While you're making these Death Stars with free attachments and ignoring attachment limits, you've now not got a super double relentless unit with assault orders, or with it as good assault orders. So I think that's one of my favourite changes from this
yeah,
season.
yeah. No, I agree. I think there is. It definitely seems to be they've reduced back all the attacking stuff, right? I mean, even the Assaulters going to lowest rank now, especially things like, I mean, it's basically become pike aggression, right? So pike aggression is lowest attack die value. So obviously they've seen that work for Cotter Pike, and they've realised that it's probably a little bit too powerful, chucking loads and loads of attacks out. Um, Fortunately, as we both are also Greyjoy players, we've still got We Do Not Sow. So take that, Assault Orders.
And that's not changed as well. But that's so good because that keeps the Greyjoys the aggressive faction. Oh, we can attack at full rank off his own. Amazing. Such a good change. I also think they've brought in a few more defensive things. So like resilience, the drowned prophets now 1 point.
Yeah,
Uh, a couple of stalwart units at 1 point. Like they've thought about this and it's really good to see.
awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, so we'll leave it there then. So cheers for joining us again, Dan. If you guys have enjoyed the conversation, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be releasing more of these over the coming week or so. Hopefully, I won't get all done by the end of next week. Obviously, you're off to Invitation this weekend, Dan, so good luck with that. Hope you raise the Bolton flag high above Manchester.
Thank you very much. There's let's hope.
Awesome. Okay, dude, well, you take care. I'll speak to you soon.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Cheers, man.